one important theme that men are asking about, and there is something that is quite close by, another deeply impactful topic, which is virility. And everything to do with longevity, which has to do with one's sexual vitality. And this obviously is a topic that affects men from teenagers all the way through to the very ends of their lives. A lot of people identify with their level of virility very, very strongly. And if that takes a knock, often a sense of self and one's value and who one is in the world takes a knock as well. And this is across cultures. I mean, you've heard the stories about the endangered rhino's horn and the elephant tusk and these kind of species that are hunted in China for being able to give men their virility, and the costs of acquisition and how far men go to pursue these things. And I remember living in Brazil as well, and just the amount of kind of Red Bull and Monster alternatives there were, and the extent that I saw my male friends go to there in order to always be the life of the party and have this indestructible 24-hour energy. Yeah. So one's testosterone, virility, sexual drive, it's a whole topic. And there's a few things I want to touch on in this episode, but the one question we had from Matthias is, have you noticed effects of certain protocols or experiments on your sexual energy and testosterone?
I talked in the last episode about how I take supplements.
Yeah.
I take zinc and something called Tomcat Alley, which I just started taking recently.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to give you firm like bull. I don't notice any difference because I'm not in tune. But I take it because I read about it, but, and this is quite a topic. I mean, I had my testosterone checked. I'm 61 and I had it checked last year, and the doctor said, and I don't like getting needles, man. I almost faint. I can't look at it, like getting my blood taken. Right. And I went in to get the results, and he said, well, here's the thing. Your testosterone is normal. Or it's your testosterone level of a 30 or 40-year-old is good. Your prostate is like a 30-year-old. He said everything's good, but for some reason you're manufacturing testosterone, or it's cycling through at an incredible high rate. So something's wrong in the test. It's not possible. So we have to take the blood test and do it again. I'm like, okay, yeah. Can I come back tomorrow? And I never went back because I didn't want to get more blood taken. So, but and I don't know what contributes to that testosterone thing for men. Red meat, they say. I have no problem because for me, it's like a woman. It's a mental thing. I get excited mentally. And I know, and I guess it's not fair for me to say that because a lot of guys say, well, I do too, but then they have trouble they get erectile dysfunction or something, And here's the thing. Everybody gets erectile dysfunction when you're with a woman that you really, really like, and you're all nervous about it and you can't get it up. That happens. Guys say, what do I feel like I let her down. No, you didn't. I'll tell you what's going on in her mind. You think that she's thinking, well, this guy, here I am, I'm ready to go, but he can't get it up, so I'm not going to date him anymore. That's not what happens. You think that's what's happening. That's not what happens. What happens is she's thinking, if she has any experience with men, she goes, oh, this happens. Let's go again another time, and she's okay with it. And you're in your head, like internally sweating and thinking, oh, I blew it. I didn't, I'm not a wonderful Latin lover for this girl. But the other thing that happens a lot is she thinks it's her. She thinks that I'm not sexy enough. You can't get it. I'm not turning him on. And she gets in her head and thinks that I'm the deficit here. So it's going to happen. Relax. It's going to happen. Laugh it off. The way to do it is laugh it off. Say, hey, things aren't working. Let's have some other fun, and let's go again another time, because another time could be fine.
Yeah.
In general, that's the nervous one. Some guys have a physiological thing, I suppose, and so I don't know how to address that. Like, there's doctors or there's ideas for that. I'm not sure. Like you said, the rhino horn for centuries, men have been trying to find, how do I get my mojo? How do I get my virility back? And they're trying everything,
Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. Yeah. Spanish fly was back in when I was a kid, you hear about Spanish fly. Ooh, whatever that is. Nobody knows what it is or what it was.
Just on the PE front, there was, this happened to me really badly on one occasion. And I was with a woman that I'd just met. It was our first time together, and it probably lasted about a minute. And she said, "Honestly, Jordan, after the way you were talking to me in the bar, I expected a bit more." and in that moment, I burst out laughing, because I strangely, I felt kind of triumphant. Like, wow, that was a really pathetic showing on my behalf. But how amazing it is that I was so responsive in a way. Like, I was amused, actually, at my own, not really humility, I guess, not really humiliation, but I found a way to laugh, and of course we could do something after that. So I attest to what you say. If you can find it within you, because my sense is much of the P and the ED that I speak to, particularly in the young men, it has to do with their own anxiety, and their own anxiety is you've got a lot of feelings under the surface which you don't want to share, because that would be vulnerable. You want to keep your mask up, but as you keep your mask up and you want to have a good performance, you shut yourself down and you wall yourself off, and then all the anxiety gets stuck and it's rumbling around underneath this stoic container, and then you've got no real control over the hormonal energy that's moving through your body. So the thing there is really allow the anxiety, allow the vulnerability a little bit. And I mean, this can be a bit of a practice, because often if you're young and you've really not had many partners, the stakes feel really high. Like, if you don't absolutely rock her world, all the stuff we hear in the media now about how many orgasms a woman is supposed to have with a man puts men on this, how am I ever going to measure up? It puts women on this sense of how am I going to measure up? Because I don't know if I can have an orgasm. I just hope that he feels like I'm honest when I'm faking it, and that somehow that will get me through. So the disconnect is enormous. And for me, so much of it is daring to be a bit more vulnerable, and that starts with self-acceptance and a sense of humor about your lackings, or about what doesn't seem to work in that first moment.
Yeah, forgive yourself and say, you know what? Hey, it's easy to say, because we get so tied up and nervous and in our heads, and we worry what she thinks, and we don't know what she's thinking. That's the biggest thing guys have, is they don't know what she's thinking. Did I offend her? Is she okay? Should I call her? They don't know, and it's not their fault.